let's go to something more technical now. The first question is always how to hold it.
The way I hold the Violoncello da Spalla is very much similar to the way Dmitry Badiarov holds it. So if you've seen his videos, what I'm about to show you is nothing new. First, I secure the thickened end of the strap under the fingerboard and pass the strap around the back of the instrument. I make sure the strap doesn't go over the heel of the neck, because this is where I want to put my thumb when I play in the higher positions. The strap goes behind my left shoulder, around my back, and comes to the front, passing over my right collarbone, and I secure the knotted end under the tailpiece. And I can adjust the length of the strap if needed. And there you go. I can even let go of the instrument and it won't fall. Of course, this isn't the only way to hold the Violoncello da Spalla, so you should try different things to find a way that suits you the best. When you hold the Violoncello da Spalla for the first time, you would feel disoriented by its angle. You don't see the strings from above the instrument like you'd normally do with the violin or viola, but instead the strings seem to overlap with each other from your line of vision, and you can't tell which string's which. But don't worry, you'll get used to this view sooner or later. If you're a violinist or violist, you don't always look at your instrument when you play. You can even play with your eyes closed. It's almost like that. Your hands and fingers will become your eyes, and they'll eventually find where they need to go and where they need to be.
And how do you use your left hand, and how do you place it on the instrument to hold it?
I place the neck of the instrument in between my thumb and the base of my index finger, like I normally do with the violin or viola. It's important to decide how high I want to raise the neck of the instrument. The higher I point the head of the instrument, the easier it is for my left hand fingering, but more difficult for my bow arm to keep the bow perpendicular to the strings. On the other hand, the lower I point the head, the easier it is for my bow arm, but more strenuous for my left hand. So I need to find the right angle of the instrument that works the best for me. It's also important to push the instrument slightly forward with my left hand. It has two purposes. One is to create a space between the instrument and my body. This way I don't interfere with the vibration of the instrument. And the other is to stabilize the instrument. The further I push the instrument forward, the tighter the strap becomes, and therefore less wobbly the instrument becomes.
Does this affect your shifting of position technique? How do you do shifting of position, and how do you teach them?
When I shift, that's when I want the instrument to be as stable as possible. So like I just said, I push the instrument slightly forward to secure it firmly in position, and I keep applying the forward pressure to the neck of the instrument as I shift. I sometimes place my chin on the rib of the instrument for extra stability. When shifting up, my right shoulder joint will catch the bottom edge of the instrument, keeping it from slipping away. When shifting down, I do three different things. Number one, forward pressure. As long as I keep applying the forward pressure to the neck of the instrument stays in position, and I can simply slide my hand down without too much difficulty. Number two, delayed thumb. Sometimes I shift the fingers down first, leaving the thumb behind as an anchor, then the thumb follows later. Number three, neck on the ball of the thumb. I keep my wrist against the rib of the instrument, and I pivot my hands down, and I let the neck of the instrument rest on the ball of the thumb just for a moment before I resume my normal hand position.
stretch your left hand a lot to keep the tuning, and how do you do it without hurting your hand? Do you have some fingering tips that you can share with us?
I do stretch my hand whenever I use the pinky, but I avoid using the pinky and play the open string instead whenever it's okay to do so, because it could be tiring and painful. I also use other alternate fingerings in order to keep my left hand in comfortable shape.
Now going to your right arm and hand, the bow arm and hand, which suggestion would you first give to find a good sound on the instrument?
Just like any other string instruments, the tone of the violoncello da Spalla depends on the right management of the bow. It's important to keep the bow perpendicular to the strings at any time. Since the angle of the violoncello da Spalla is different from the violin or viola, you should always practice in front of a big mirror to check the angle of the bow. I always use the analogy of different parts of tuna to explain different parts of the bow. The part near the tip is akami, the least fatty section of tuna, and is the cheapest part. The middle part is chutoro, which has a good mix of fat and meat. The part near the frog is otoro, the most fatty section of tuna. Since it's the most delicious and expensive part, you want to take time and enjoy the taste and let it melt in your mouth. When playing the violoncello da Spalla, you should use your bow from the otoro section of the bow, taking time to dig into these thick strings to get fatty sound out of them. Francesco Geminiani says in his treatise, The Art of Playing on the Violin, the best performers make use of the whole of the bow. This also applies when you're playing the violoncello da Spalla. We should enjoy tasting different parts of the bow, making sure to take extra time at the otoro to get the most delicious sound out of this instrument.
So thank you very much, Toshihiko and Takumi, for your time, and congratulations for the great job that you are doing for Violoncello da Spalla. Bye!